There haven't been any more surprise reveals since we saw Supersonic and the Volcano Island in the TGS trailer for Sonic Frontiers, and those playing the game at Tokyo Game Show haven't been able to progress any further than the first few bits of Kronos Island because Sega did fix the glitch where the game didn't auto-reset itself when the timer ran out. So we didn't see anything related to like Ares Island, the Volcano Island, or anything new. But that doesn't mean that we haven't picked up on more information about Frontiers. It came from multiple sources. People playing the game, Sega and Sonic Team being interviewed, and Sega of Japan themselves providing a live stream of Sonic Frontiers. It's going to be more or less a roundup video where we go over the extra details that we've recently learned. I'll try to keep it simple and to the point, so here we go. First of all, the Cyloop. You know how I made a video talking like 13 minutes straight about the drop dash? I'm starting to think of doing the same thing with this particular ability, but for now I'm going to give you the condensed version. It's looking borderline broken. It covers so many bases that I'm struggling to think of what it can't do at this point. And the way I worded it, I make it sound like a problem, but it's not. I really love this move. But what does it not do at this point? It does so much. You can use it to beat enemies, create rings out of empty space, solve puzzles, uncover memory tokens, and even get infinite boost. That's where it gets crazy. You can actually use the Cyloop to draw an infinity symbol and get infinite boost. You know how the game gives you the option to play the action style or the high speed style? Action style for those not accustomed to Sonic games, and high speed style is for those who are. If you play the action style, you get unlimited boost. If you go the high speed style, you get limited boost. But now you can pretty much just go high speed style Sonic and then use the infinity symbol with the Cyloop to give yourself infinite boost. Though the effect is not permanent, you'll need to refresh it here and there to make the most of it. But the option is there. Talk about getting around restrictions, huh? That is insane. As an aside, save files are back. We haven't had a feature as simple as this for 12 years since Sonic Colors hit the Nintendo Wii in 2010. Insane, I know. 2D titles have kept this feature still, just not 3D titles, which is why I was specific. It'll probably not be that big a deal to many of you, but it sure is to me, because one of the biggest drawbacks to enjoying Sonic Unleashed and Generations so much was having to give up all my progress just to start a new save file. Next up, any rings generated by the Cyloop will be magnetically drawn to Sonic, so he won't have to run all over the place to pick them up. They'll just fly right to him. How convenient. But any rings already found out in the open field, or that he drops after taking damage, Sonic will have to pick up normally. Or if you want my advice, you could just use the Lightspeed Dash instead and spare yourself the headache. This leads me to another juicy detail. The Lightspeed Dash can now be used to pick up rings that Sonic drops after he gets hit by an enemy attack. I can't recall if he could do this in previous titles, but he can now in Sonic Frontiers. And if you ask me, that's going to make the Lightspeed Dash twice as good to use. Why? It's already pretty useful for island exploration, but now whenever there's a break in your rhythm while you're fighting enemies, you can recover by using the Light Dash to get your rings back and then jump straight back into the fight. My only concern with it right now is how finicky this move could behave. As much as I love the adventure games, even I have to acknowledge that the Lightspeed Dash didn't always work as it should. But with how good Sonic's controls are said to be in Frontiers, maybe Sega did smooth that over. If you like playing the Boost Sonic games, well bro, I've got some bad news for you. The boost has been nerfed. It no longer puts Sonic into an attacking state. This is a huge change, I know, but probably a necessary one also. No, definitely necessary. As, think about it, if you could just blast right through enemies at the speed of sound, it would have made the combat system less necessary, and Sega really wants you to explore that mechanic when you get the game. So I think it was a good change. Still, it's gonna feel kinda weird not seeing Sonic use the boost to beat enemies anymore, but now that I think about it, I don't think he did that once since the first wave of Frontiers footage. I'm surprised I'm only just now cottoning onto this. It's kinda crazy. This post also goes on to mention that when you max out your ring counter, you can improve your attributes, including your speed, but we already knew this. This is in relation to the movie aura that Sonic activates whenever he gets maximum rings. Next up, the drop dash. According to MDB Cooler, it's sluggish to use. It's only usable after a double jump, which I think is a little weird. It should be accessible after a single jump also. but I think I can adjust to this. He didn't remember if there were any rolling physics, but he did remember that turning control with it is pretty restricted. It's comparable to the boost in Sonic Generations, which means you won't be turning very well with it. Sounds like the Drop Dash's first implementation into a 3D Sonic game could have gone so much better, but I am still looking forward to playing around with it. Alright, parrying. This is a good one. As a reminder, you can parry enemy attacks by pressing both of the dodge buttons with the correct timing. And apparently this produces a different result depending on the enemy you're fighting. In the case of this Beyblade guy right here, you instantly destroy him if you parry him. If you fight a Ninja Guardian instead, parry his attack and he gets put into a state of slowdown, much like what happens when you activate Bayonetta's Witch Time. This makes sense for Sonic. In the live-action Sonic movies, there were sequences where he would run so fast that everything else around him didn't really move at all. So I think this is awesome. We already had the movie Aura for reference, now I got something else to look fondly back on. This next one's kinda tough to notice, so I'll use a screenshot instead. If you'll notice here, Sonic's in his falling animation, and his arms are stretched out behind his back. This pose greatly resembles one of his poses he performs in the Sonic CD opening sequence. It's ultimately a minor detail to take notice of, but for someone like me who loves Sonic CD as much as he does, this is a treat. I don't know if it was coincidental or intentional on Sonic Team's part, but then you also notice echoes of a Sonic Adventure render during the cutscene where Sonic wakes up and communicates with one of the AI voices. And apparently, there's a similar instance that happens during the Big Fishing game, where Sonic poses in a manner similar to a Sonic Unleashed render. Really now, Sonic Team? You think you're slick, huh? That's a compliment, by the way. In an interview with IGN Japan, Morio Kishimoto states that the goal of Sonic Frontiers is to bring Sonic Team back to the top of the gaming industry. I respect this ambition, although I would think you would always aim for this goal no matter what game you're making, but maybe I'm just being nitpicky. And then there's the fact that Sonic Origins and Sonic Colors Ultimate had very shaky launches. So these are some pretty big words, Kishimoto, but I'm rooting for you to make good on them. And he also states they thoroughly did what they could to make the game good, even play testing it once every 3 or 4 months since 2017 or 2018 up until July of this year. That gets a huge thumbs up from me. The more play testing a game gets, the better its chances are of turning out to be a good game. I'm reassured by this, and I'm looking forward to playing Sonic Frontiers more than ever. Alrighty, here comes a big one. Cyberspace. Yeah, it's optional. It's still worth talking about. First up, the Cyberspace soundtrack. There are 2 samples of it out and about right now, one for Sky Sanctuary, and another for what I believe to be the first variant of Chemical Plant. But both aren't exactly high quality. They're largely mixed in with the background noise at either Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show, so you can't hear them very well. You can't even make out the lyrics of the Sky Sanctuary theme. So I can't really form an opinion here, but MTB Cooler can. He heard the Green Hill theme over at Gamescom, and he described it as being extremely underwhelming, which is quite worrying. The rest he couldn't recall, however, because again, background noise. Better yet, Cyberspace mostly reusing stage layouts from legacy Sonic titles might not be the most concerning thing about it. That title might belong to the controls instead, as those have been described by MTB Cooler to be not too great, and honestly watching this footage right here, I can see his point. Notice how whenever Sonic jumps here, he almost abruptly loses his speed. Like, excuse me? Do you guys not see the problem that I'm seeing here? Is this really what should be happening? This alone might make his jump the most problematic thing about playing through Cyberspace, but it's not his only issue he's faced with. His air boost was always temporary, so the fact it lasts like a second doesn't really surprise me, but it also locks his direction. However, you can still jump out of the air boost, as you'll see right here. But that alone doesn't really address the drawbacks associated with jumping alone, if you ask me. When you couple all of this with a functionally worse jump for Sonic, I can't see myself revisiting Cyberspace after my first playthrough. Sonic Team said that they cared about the quality of Cyberspace, but with what you're seeing here, I feel like you could poke holes into that statement. Cyberspace can be played through to completion at least, but the experience of doing so should be just as satisfying as playing through the open zone, in my opinion. And I'm not getting that feeling from what I'm watching. That really sucks. And here's what also sucks. Look at the stage length of the Cyberspace chemical plant stage. This is abysmal. As you might have guessed, it consists entirely of the 3D sections of Chemical Plant Act 2 in Sonic Generations, which I'm just now realizing there weren't all that many to begin with. No wonder this stage is so minuscule. If you're still having doubts about Cyberspace being optional, well, check this out. Credits to Sonic Pox for catching on to this. With this screenshot taken from a TGS trailer, you'll see a vault key at the leftmost corner. From a dropped enemy in the open zone. It's the same shape and all. So yes, you can indeed obtain vault keys in the open zone area, and a part of doing so would be by beating enemies. This will probably be the least reliable method of doing so, as I could see it being governed by an RNG factor, or random number generator if you don't know what that means. Essentially, you might get lucky enough to find a vault key from a defeated enemy, or you might not. I could also see Sega hiding some vault keys in hidden areas that you'll have to actually track down. Some might be unlocked by Cyloop, others by different means. Either way, you have options. I think a more accurate statement to say here would be that only a chunk of Cyberspace is mandatory, the rest of it is optional. Now circle back to that big fishing game that we talked about recently. As you likely know, any tokens or gold cards that you earn while catching fish can be exchanged for any of the items on this list. Basically, whatever you can find out in the open zone, you can find here also. But the item that caught my attention the most was the second one right here, when translated is apparently a diary. MTB Cooler says that this is Eggman themed, and he said the same thing himself, but this might contain Eggman's notes on his discovery about cyberspace, because when you start the game, he's trapped there. If so, this is a really cool side thing to add to the game. It reminds me of the endless reports that you could find throughout the Kingdom Hearts series. I think it's pretty neat. In some cases, it may not be completely necessary to dismantle a Guardian in order to claim his portal gear. An example of this can be seen during the Sega of Japan livestream for Sonic Frontiers at TGS. As you'll see right here, Sonic takes on an Asura Guardian, breaks one of his feet using the Cyloop, and retrieves a portal gear. He then pieces out to go to the cyberspace portal that is nearby. If you're tired of fighting the same enemy over and over and you just want to jump right back into the pace of the game, this may be good for you. Also, if you stand still for long enough, the Kocos that you rescued will appear in front of you. This made me kinda scared to wonder what would happen if you rescued every Kocos but never gave them back to either Hermit or Elder Kocos. You could raise a practical army. Oh god, the world ain't ready. These cute little guys are also featured on this piece of artwork from the Sonic Frontiers DLC that was leaked a few weeks ago. And by the way, this artwork was censored at first, but all they were hiding at the time was a Titan. Okay? And the character I thought I was seeing underneath the censored area was just another Kocos. Whoops! Sorry! Okay, two more things to point out and then we are done. For now. If you're planning on playing the game in Japanese, you should know that there will be differences in the script in comparison to the English version. Examples of that can be seen in this Twitter post right here. Well, I know I'm definitely committing at least 2 full playthroughs to this game just so I can spot the differences. I'm a sucker for things like that. Finally, and this is a detail with which I'm happy to end the video off, it has to do with Super Sonic, and the Titans that are considered to be the bosses of the game. To fight those guys, you absolutely need to go Super Sonic. As regular Sonic, you can scale in to get the Chaos Emeralds, but to actually fight them, you've gotta go Super. And these aren't even the final bosses. This is where Kishimoto couldn't resist dropping us a little tease. Up until now, in Sonic games, Super Sonic will only appear against the last boss, he said. Imagine if the first boss in Sonic Frontiers is as strong as those bosses. Now that he said that, I'm actually kinda scared. How tough is the actual final boss going to be? That alone might be the biggest surprise with Frontiers. That and whichever other super form Sonic is going to be given, if not Hypersonic. Well, definitely not Hypersonic, as he's been deconfirmed in interviews, I've been told. So, similar to Darkspine and Excalibur Sonic from the storybook games, looks like we're getting a new Super Sonic form. But just what exactly? Okay, I lied. I have one more thing I want to point out. I almost missed this detail while recording this video, so I caught it at like the last minute. There's the zap symbol that you might remember from the Rangers teaser before it was revealed to be Sonic Frontiers. It's found on the ceiling of the structures where you travel to in order to unlock the Chaos Emerald. I guess that's the story's significance behind this symbol, unless there's actually more to it than that, but either way, it's looking real gorgeous. I've double and triple checked this list, and I think I've gotten everything, so we are at the end of another video. This one took like days to go up, but part of the reason for that is I wanted to wait it out while Tokyo Game Show is happening to see what more we could learn about Frontiers. And now that the event is reaching its conclusion, I think it's a good time to go ahead and make this post. And for some of the stuff I've talked about here, I could definitely make full-length videos, I feel. Again, Cyloop would be a good example of this. But we'll talk about that later. For now, I'm gonna give y'all a break. Before I actually go, I'd like to take a quick second to thank everybody who shared what they've learned about Sonic Frontiers with the community at large, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube or wherever. I really do appreciate them for their effort. I made a point to credit everybody whose content I've referenced, and I will link the original sources in the description below this video so you can give them a look. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you found what you learned here useful, and if you did, I would appreciate that like and subscription, and that comment too. That never goes amiss. Don't forget to ring that bell also so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you all later. Until then, peace! Blue Blurs for life. Take care.